Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Comics and Ramblings, which of course is pop culture, movies, trailers, commentary, reviews, all sorts of stuff. That's what the rambling part is. So before we start, I'd like, bit of a promo. Please hit the like button or, subscribe if you're the first time here. It helps. I'm not really good at promoting that sort of stuff, so let's get that out of the way. And so I wanted to get to 500 by the end of the year, and well, we didn't get there, right? But hopefully we'll get there next year. So let's talk about quickly. I want to just talk about our comic here right now, which is out right now on for $2.99 on Rising Sun Comics. The link for it is in the chat here. You can see it in front of you, well, down below or side, wherever you got it going on. So I'm really grateful that we've got this out. I wanted to get this out by Christmas. It's been out for about a month, and the work's out. And I'm going to show some pages for it later. But right now, I want to talk about, as I mentioned, this is about quickly just sort of update about where we are with Incredi-Girl #1, Volume 1, #1, The Gathering of the Five, #1, right? So basically, what happened was that let me just grab that, make sure that's up. So we got our after a month, right, which is kind of sad because it took them a month to get us proofs of our comic. And so what we found was that one of the pages for every single comic book that went out to get the printing done had these weird, these lines, these frames just off this page, #6, right, had these lines. And so the other day, I think it was Friday, where are we, Tuesday now? So Friday, Hawk, who's looking after our publication and printing side of things, organizing all that, which is a pretty tough job, making sure that that's all out there once it's created. You hand it over to your publisher or the person in charge, and they put it all, make sure the files are good. And none of us picked it up. And I think it's my fault, because I think what happened was, and I know this is what happened really, and no thinking about it, suspicions, whatever, is that we basically, when we started doing the inks and pencils and stuff, they were framing, images came in from Kevin with the frames, and then I would go, oh yeah, this set's right, yeah, it's going to fit well on the picture, on the comic, and I mean, a placement, for me, lettering and all that, it's all great. And then I'd send them back, and with the letters, and go, hey, this is cool, and then who'd send me back, and so on. But rather than, because I would get the ones without the inks, right? I mean, without the frame lines, like you see here, there'll be no frames on it. It'll be just a clean white back page, right? So like, let me just show you. It will be like this. So he would send me this, right? And so you see this, this is what I would initially get. And then I would send it back and go, right. And then he would send me back without the lines. What happened was, out of all the friggin' pages, right, like 30 odd pages, I think, depending on the colors and all that stuff, I think it's right, 28, 38 pages, 30 pages. And one of them happened to be the wrong one sent through to Hugo, who colored it and sent it back. And we ended up, me not even realizing, noting the lines, because it's so you can, unless you really look for it, you don't see that much, because I also have it on a page that also has frames on it, which, when you export, the frames disappear. It's just therefore making sure that you're within the cutoff lines, like you're within the lines, so you're not cutting off artwork. And like when you got this piece here, on this hand on the left here, right, of when you're looking at it, it's on the left for me, is that when you see this, you know that you don't want to chop too much off the hand, so you just have it right at the line where it's going to be cut off. And so what happened was, he ended up with, Hugo ended up coloring the wrong one. And so when I got it back on Friday, and we had a chat on, back and forth on Skype, going, oh, it took me friggin' an hour, half an hour or so to suss out what was wrong with it and which page, which file or whatever, because I've got all my raw files, which is because I use Clipster Paint, right? And so I was able to find it, and then I went, hey, here you go, ASAP, can you please, my mistake, can you please, if you got the layers, just layer on top of this clean page with no frames, which I'm supposed to have sent you, right? And so he sent it back within within half a day. I mean, it's Christmas time, so I'm just so glad he was able to do it. I was able to get it, and then like over the weekend, I've been busy, right? Over the weekend, it's Christmas, right? So this morning, early this morning, I think it was early this morning. I got up and I sent off put all the pages together. I sent all the raw JPEGs with a new file there, back onto, uploaded to Dropbox, emailed Hawk. I said, hey, this is the new folder. This is the label on it, fixed. Please sort that out. And so what this has done for us is that we were going to be a month ahead, right, on delivering this. So you would have got this at the end of January, right, as a backup for our Kickstarter, right? You would have been able to get this, very quickly. However, I mean, a month early is very quick, right? However, now, sadly, right, it's going to be a month later, which also means, that, that now we won't be able to put out our issue 2 onto Kickstarter for another month, like in February, which is what we planned to do. But if we got this book out early, we would have been able to get it to you sooner, which is what we wanted to do. The sooner out, the sooner we get the new issue out, which is being worked on right now. We're probably over halfway now, because Hugo's been coloring it, and also Kevin's been working on the inking and doing the pencil work, illustrating and inking issue 2. Right now, we were already halfway through it when we put this up online, right, on Kickstarter. Now, which is pretty cool for us, right? Getting things out on time, and even wanting to get it out early. But I'm glad we had that. We put it up in February, because now I don't have to bite my nails and go, gosh, it's getting out there long. It's taking too long to get to our guys, to our backers, because I really appreciate our backers, right? It's something that I really, really appreciate. And because look, without the support from from people backing our campaign and supporting us, buying our comic books, going after, because we're new boys in the club, right? You can't, new guys on the block, whatever you want to call it, new boys on the block. It's not easy to find a new, to break into a new market that's already established, with thousands of people out there already on Kickstarter, already on Indiegogo and all the other platforms. But we're sticking with Kickstarter, right? It's found that this is easier for us to work with, because we know how it works for us. So and because also the other thing is, it's allowing us to put out about 2 projects at a time, depending which one it is. And that allows us to put on our own page, which is let me just grab this here, which is we can go to put up our own project on the on the Plunge Comics page as well. Where are we? Gosh, on this one here, where we're getting ready for for robotnation to go out as well. Let me see, is it on stories or what's it doing? Right, trying to get this book out there ready for for Indiegogo, and for crowdfunding as well. And the other thing is, like, allowing, if you're coming out into crowdfunding, please allow yourself at least 6 months minimum, right? At least 6 months. If you get in ahead of that, good. But at least allow you 6 months to get your get your printing out there, to get your keep in touch with your backers. I know it's busy time right now, but they need to know. You need to let them know where you are with things. If there's a delay, if there isn't a delay. I mean, we're not in a. I mean, I'm out here saying we're in a delay for us, because we wanted it a month early. Even keeping within our, the February, we wanted to get it out in January to people. But now the printer took a whole month just to get us the proofs, right? And now it's like, Is there going to be a whole month before they get it to us again? So then it's going to be in February, but that's fine because that's what we said. We'll get it out to you guys in February. But by saying that has allowed us leeway, even though I wanted to get out to people faster. However, now, right, we can start in late January. We're going to start the robotnation crowdfunding, right? So that we can get the printing out there with all the covers, and we're looking at doing some colors. We negotiate, not negotiate, but like humming and hawing about coloring a black and white book, or do we leave it until we do the 6 issue or whatever, 5 issue, 4 issue, whatever we decide to pack it up as a trade paperback, or if we do it as a hardcover or whatever, and if you offer the hardcover as a color version, whereas now we can offer this as a black and white version. But I'm just hoping that, like, whatever we do, people back us, and that our honesty with you, letting you guys know where we are, keeping you up to date with what we're doing, that we will win you over. That when we put out these products, that we would win you over, our comic books. That's why I wanted to get Robot Nation out to you as digital and see if you want it or not. Like, you can say, oh yeah, I'd love to have it, I like the stories, I like where this is going, I love the artwork. Okay, maybe I don't. At least I gave it, at least I'll let these indie creators know that I did try their book out, right? And that's why we left it at $2.99, the cheapest you can get, right? $5 New Zealand, right? I think it's $5 New Zealand, which is pretty cheap compared to your normal comic book, right? So 28 pages, right? 6 pages extra on top, plus 4 more pages of extras, right? I mean, normal comic book is about 22 pages. We put in another 6 pages of story, and then we put in another 4 pages of extra backup matter and so on, and other stuff. That's because I'm a fan of comics, right? I want extras in my comics, and I want to be like, if I'm getting a comic, I want something special about it because I'm paying money for it. And the other thing is, we don't put ads in our ads like for other things. We just put ads. We put 2 pages of ads in it that has to do with comics that we produce or comics that our publisher produces, right? So that when you see, you only get 2 pages, but you always get your full story. And we go out of our way, to give you a good product. And that's something that I'm very proud of as a creator, working on these books, right? As part of being, for what we bring out in New Zealand to the world, right? With international artists, of course, but what we're bringing out is something that I'm very proud of. Otherwise, I wouldn't be putting it out there. So, when they say 36 pages, we also tell you that's a full 36 pages, but we also tell you it's 28 pages of comic book art and story, and that's going to be the way going forward all the time. We'll tell you honestly what's in this book, right? Like, it's why I named it, I always come out and say, hey, it's a mature reader's book. Robot Nation is a mature reader's book, because I don't want to, like, later on people going, oh, why did you have this in there? I thought it was for all ages or teenagers. No, I want to be honest about what we produce, because I want to win you over, right? I want to be legitimately win you over with what we're putting out. When I say it's good art, I want to show you the good art it is, right? I'm proud of what we're doing here. This is just a tiny little panel. When you have a look at something like that, it's a whole page there, and stuff like this. You see some amazing artwork from our artists come out, and I'm just so proud of all this stuff. And the great thing about this is that I get to see my artists create new characters, new worlds for each story I create, and that's sometimes it can be pretty tough, right? Coming up with new characters every single story, because remember, this is an anthology type series. So like when you get to like 4 issues, you'll have a whole bunch of complete stories in there. Some will be 40 pages long, some will be 20 pages, and some will be 5 or 6, all right? So I just want to make sure that you guys know what we're putting out is what we believe in. We're 100% proud of what we're putting out. I know I am, right? And because the creators with us are doing a huge amount of work, out there, putting all this out there, so yeah, that's all I got to talk to you about the comic side of things.